Now, you know, prison is one of them places that you're going to find yourself hungry all the time. And when you find yourself in there and you ain't got nothing to eat, you know, and there's nothing you can really do, you know, but deal with it, you're going to be like, damn, how can I get my mind off of being so hungry, right? My stomach's aching. There's nothing I can do. I'm tired of being hungry all the time. I feel like my damn stomach's touching my back. Well, what we used to do is, we used to get us some paper like this, fold it like this a few times, open it on up like this right here, and have us a water biscuit. I know it sounds like nothing, but trust me, a water biscuit comes in handy, believe it or not. And what this is it's a cup. It's how you make your cup. See your cup? Add your water, and you slam him. Ha, Dom the best. Finna be this way till I EOS. Take it how you want, nigga. Yeah, I'm a pro. Fuck around and bust your lot while you're at Vizzo. I hate to be this way, but I live for the moment. Waking up every day, show me an opponent. Shanks on deck, hitting bitch with a lock. So much pool, I can even start you from the box. You don't wanna pay rent, got me bent. Got lax on deck, your money was well spent. Vultures on the prowl, so don't try testing. Step 2 comes violent, first steps finessing. You a hold down man, suitcase this. My cell phone, I'm a charger, don't walk with a limp. Get it knocked off or missing, you gon' get it. Next time I see you ass, you gon' leave airlifted. What's up, y'all? You already know, man. KFROG TV back in the building. Y'all go ahead and do me that solid favor. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe button. And also make sure you hit the notification bell so you can see it first. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today I decided to answer another one of my subscribers' questions. And he asked how it felt when you were starving inside of prison. For anybody that's been here watching this channel for a while, y'all know I've spoke on chow hall food. I spoke on canteen and commissary. I spoke on street food. I spoke on so many different things when it comes to eating inside of prison. So I felt like I'd put this one together and let y'all know how it feels when you were starving inside of there. All right. Now, of course, not everybody has money. Not everybody has money on their account. Not everybody can get people to lend them shit, you know. So a lot of people are going to have to survive off of, you know, the chow hall food. You feel me? But I'm going to be real with you. Depending on your metabolism and depending on how frequently and how used to eating a lot you are used to, depends on how hungry you're going to be, all right? Now, after a while, you know, you can kind of adapt and get used to it, you know, of not having that much to eat. But they actually, when they give you breakfast, lunch, and dinner, they give you the exact amount of calories and the exact amount of stuff that you're supposed to take in that day. You understand? Nothing above and nothing under. You know what I'm saying? They're going to give you exactly that amount. At least that's what, you know, the menus are going to say. How much calorie counts in this one, calorie counts is in that one, calorie counts is in that one. So throughout the whole day, it should equal the amount that they're supposed to give you by law. Doesn't mean that your tray is going to be weighed specifically to that exact amount of calorie count. You see what I'm saying? So you might be a little over, or you might have a hefty tray and you might be a little over. You feel me? Or under, you know, vice versa. But when you're in confinement, that's when you're going to find yourself starving the most, all right? And the reason for that is because you're bored so much that when boredom occurs, you can't help but want to eat something. You see what I'm saying? It's going to make it to where you're so bored you want to eat. I know I do that shit on the streets. You know, there's times where you're just chopping it up with someone. You want to open a bag of chips, you know what I'm saying, and just eat a honey bun while y'all are vibing and shit. You know, there's just so much. It just feels like food plays a major part of passing time. And then when it's there, you can't help but to smash it. You know what I'm saying? So when you're in confinement, that's why they make it so difficult when it comes to the canteen and stuff inside of confinement. You know what I'm saying? Like when you first get put in the box, you know, if you have a shitload of canteen already in your property, like in your locker, you know, like in your dorm, depending on what institution you're at, they may send it all with you to the box, you know, so you can get put in confinement with a whole hefty bag if you already have a hefty bag. Or if they're more strict, kind of like some of the camps up in the Panhandle where I was at, like Calhoun CI, for instance, when you go to confinement there, they're going to literally only allow you to have 5 food items. You see what I'm saying? So like when I went to confinement, my first time, I had a whole $100 thing in my locker, just hit canteen. And they tried me. They actually let me go to confinement, and then what they gave me was, they gave me 2 packs of hot cocoa Swiss Miss. They gave me 2 Louisiana and hot sauce sardines, and 1 pack of hard watermelon candies that only had like 2 pieces of candy left in it. That's the 5 items they gave me out of the whole $100 worth of shit I had. I had donuts, honey buns, soups, tunas, you know what I'm saying, pickles. I had all fat boy shit, chips, everything, you know what I'm saying? And they literally only gave me that petty stuff, you know, just to try me, you feel me? But now when I went to other confinements at other institutions, they sent me back there with whatever I have, you feel me? Or you'll go to confinement, and then when you're in confinement, when they go to pack your property and all that shit in your dorm, they'll come back later on with all your property, and then it might all be in there. If nobody in the dorm robbed your shit, stole your shit, or whatever, you feel me? But when you're back there in the box, and you do not have commissary, you do not have canteen, your ass gonna be hungry. That's one thing to where you literally are gonna feel like you are starving, all right? And it's like you're not gonna really realize how much you're focused on eating when you're back there and you cannot eat. You see, so since they have it to where 5 food items, 4 non-food items, you can order that once every 2 weeks. So every 2 weeks, you finally get to put in a slip. And you put the slip in the door and they come around and pick them up. And they got certain items you can order, like peanut butter squeeze, cheese squeezes, chips, you know, shit like that, honey buns. You know, there's certain things you can order, you know, but you can't order no soups. You can't order like all the chips that are on canteen. You can't order tunas, chilies, you know, beef stews, you know, milk, cereal, certain things that you have access to on the compound. You're limited. You can't order all that when you're in confinement. You understand? You can only order the few items they allow you to get, you see? And then it's once every 2 weeks, which is like a mission. So there's no way you can make them 5 items last that long. You see what I'm saying? And when it comes to them trays coming around, they feed you like the sloppiest, you know what I'm saying? Like the most slop. Like if everybody on the compound's getting spaghetti, when you get your shit, the noodles are going to be floating. You're going to feel like it's muck, like it's slop, just, you know what I'm saying? Like, even though it ain't that far different from what it is on the compound, but, you know, the box, they get like the shit end of the stick no matter what, you know what I'm saying? And they give you just enough food to where you're still hungry, but you're not thinking about it. So when you're done eating, boom, and you're talking to your cellie and you put your tray out the flap and now y'all are chopping it up, you get your mind off that shit, your stomach is going to be growling within another hour or so. You feel me? And you're going to be back there like, damn, I'm hungry already, dog. That tray ain't do nothing for me. You know, and it's kind of like because you're stuck in that little cell and you're forced to like eat those trays that come in or starve, you know. And me, luckily for me, I had somebody, you know, all the time on the pound in different places that would send me canteen, you know, or shit from the chow hall, like loaves of bread, stuff like that. So I was able to get by. But that doesn't mean that I didn't go without, all right? The number one thing that I had to always, you know, consume in order to get my mind off of eating was called a water biscuit, okay? We called them water biscuits, and all it was you just gulp water. You know what I'm saying? And it sucks because after a while, you know, you get used to doing that. You get used to that being your substitute when you were hungry. That you don't even catch how many of them you're slamming, how much water it is you're downing, you know. And not every cell you go in where you have a styrofoam cup, you know, that you might be forced to throw them out every time they take chow. You know, they might give it to you with chow, but then you must throw it out after chow. Depends on how it's all ran. You might not always have a cup. If you don't have a cup, we had to make our own. You see what I'm saying? That's when we learned to make the water biscuits. You know what I'm saying? And it's literally just made out of paper, just like this. You see what I'm saying? We literally would make the paper, you know, and just use it to pour our water in. And believe it or not, at the end of the day, for some reason, making this cup and then pouring it like out of the sink in there and chugging it, you get, you know, the more pieces of paper you use, the more times you can use this before the water seeps all the way through. You get what I'm saying? Of course, you can't do it with like 1 or 2 pieces because then the water's going to just straight leak through it eventually. But if you do it with like 5 to 8 pieces, you should be able to use this shit over and over again. You feel me? And then, of course, once you're done drinking all the water, you just set this to the side, upside down, and then it'll dry out. So by the time you need it next time, it's like brand new. It's fresh. And, you know, it's not as wet. You get what I'm saying? And water biscuits, believe it or not,
helped me through my box bid. And it got to the point to where my first time in the box in a long stretch with no food, to where I felt like I was starving, it sucked consuming them water biscuits. It sucked having to always drink water anytime I felt like I was that hungry. Because it isn't like once you feel you're hungry, oh, chow's coming soon. No, not when you're in the box. You know what I'm saying? Normally in the county jail, as soon as your stomach go to growling, chow soon. You know what I'm saying? But in the box in prison, you got a long period of waiting until your next feeding. So the only way you're going to enjoy your bid in the box is if you have canteen and commissary and if people are sending you stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I actually hated that I had to get used to drinking just cups of water. That's all it was. You know what I'm saying? Made me piss a lot throughout the night, have to use the toilet over and over again. You know what I'm saying? But it got to the point to where me already adapting to the survival from starvation of consuming water made it to where any other time I got into some shit and was facing a box stretch, I didn't care. You understand? I already knew how to do box time. You see what I'm saying? And believe it or not, it got me a long way just drinking these little cups of water. You see? Most people be scared to go to the box, or they learn from their first mistake. You know, they never want to go again from how bad their experience was the first time they went to the box. Me, I learned how to cope with it. I learned how, regardless where they send me, bitch, I'm smiling. You know, and that's what it was. I learned to always keep a smile on my face, and no matter what they send at me, if God send me to it, he gonna send me through it. So I couldn't really change what it is. I'm already here. I gotta do the time. There's nothing I can do about it. Whether I complain or not, I'm still gonna be doing the time. Right or wrong. So I learned how to cope with box time, and that's what made it so much easier for me to do time in the box. Okay? And made me feel like I wasn't starving, even though I was filled up with water most of the time, you see. Now don't get me wrong, water don't hit the spot like a fucking, you know, hot dogs or like, you know, piece of chicken or something that you would normally get on certain days on the compound. But at the same time, if they cooking chicken on a Tuesday and you're in confinement and you know you ain't getting no chicken today unless you got like somebody on the pound sending you some, you smell that chicken smell covers the whole compound and shit. All you smell is chicken. Got your stomach growling first thing in the morning, boy. You smell them getting that chicken ready for later. You ass grab that motherfucking cup, or you make your own cup with the paper, have you a water biscuit. But when you're drinking that water biscuit, you're inhaling the smell of that chicken. You just pretend and act like you're eating chicken, but really you're fucking drinking a cup of water. You know what I'm saying? And believe it or not, that shit actually works. It's a mind thing. You see what I'm saying? It'd make you feel like, since you're breathing in the smell of chicken while down in that shit, it's gonna feel like you just took a big old gulp of chicken broth. Believe it or not. And like I said, it was hard at times. You know, it's always going to be hard at times. You're going to always feel like there isn't enough food. Even when you have a shitload of food. Even when you got your canteen stacked up and your lockers are on swole. You're going to feel like you still ain't got enough shit. You're going to feel like there's something missing. You want something other than what you have. You might want to hit the canteen window for the one item you do not have in your locker. You know, that's what it does to you. You feel me? But in confinement, you ain't got nothing. So you got to make the best out of what you can. You got to hope that you come across something, you know? And like I said before, I had people sending me loaves of bread and shit like that. So what else I used to survive off of, which is actually good to this day, was sugar sandwiches. Believe it or not. And it was like I was at my lowest, you know? You feel me? Like this was like the next best thing. You know, water biscuit is like the dead straight, like empty. There ain't nothing to consume. You ain't got a fucking mustard pack to suck on. You ain't got a peanut butter squeeze to eat the peanut butter out of. You ain't got a cheese squeeze. You don't even have a soup seasoning pack. You feel me? That's when you're doing straight water biscuit. You feel me? But the next best thing was when I felt like I needed for survival mode, and what I felt like it was going to be was sugar sandwiches, which, you know, that one is still good to this day. You feel me? And it's a piece of bread. You know what I'm saying? And they used to give us these little slices of margarine between two pieces of paper on the breakfast tray. I used to cuff that, put it to the side, and you just put the butter on the bread and then the sugar pack. And the sugar sticks to the bread. And you just fold that bitch and eat it. I guarantee you this. If you eat that right now, if you make one of those, just put bread and butter and sugar on it and eat it. You will see how delicious that is. You know, and it took me to feel like I was starving to try that, to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I grew up, I've ate bread and butter before, obviously. But it was just like, I wanted everything together at that time. And I tried that, you know what I'm saying? And believe it or not, it's fire. And there's been times where we didn't have the bread. And there was times where we didn't have the butter. And you got to eat just the sugar packs. You're just pouring it in your mouth, just the sugar. Straight Florida sugar cane. And then the times without the butter, you got bread and you just pour the sugar in the middle and fold it and eat it. And it'd be all crunchy because of the sugar. Still good, you see what I'm saying? But these are things that I had to do when I felt like I was starving. You understand? I've told y'all plenty of times when I first started eating sardines. Wasn't until my last main box stretch to where I was at my worst. I used to throw them bitches under the door. You know what I'm saying? To tell people to go catch them, free fish, and have people out there with their fishing poles and their lines trying to intercept the fucking fish pack that was laying on the floor. Like, I would throw that out before I would eat it. That's how much I wasn't into trying sardines. Now I love sardines, all because when I said to hell with it, I'm trying them, and ate them, and them bitches were fire. You see what I'm saying? And that's because my taste buds changed. I was in that survival mode. You know what I'm saying? Remember I told y'all when I first went to the box that one time in Calhoun and they gave me them 5 food items. 2 of them were sardines and Louisiana hot sauce. Did not like them shits. That shit made me gag. Did the rest of my bid without sardines. I had sacks of Tunchi, dope, and cigarettes and stuff. I wouldn't even let you buy it off me with sardines. Nah, you better go trade them and get some other items. Like, that's how it was. You feel me? And then I ended up trying them when I was starving. And them shits tasted delicious. You know what I'm saying? And it just shows. You're going to find yourself eating things that you never thought you would have to eat. You feel me? Don't think just because you're somebody with money that you will always be straight. Because even though I had bread, I had money, at all times, there were still times that you won't be able to shake nothing. Which means you won't be able to make something happen. Because when you get put in confinement, you look at it. What good is your money if you can't hit canteen when you're in the box? Some institutions, you used to be able to send your ID out. That was like your credit card. You know, you could pay the runaround a couple of dollars or whatever, take your card, you know, go to the canteen booth, boom, swipe, and then, you know, he comes back and then he gives you your shit. Then they started shutting the cards off, deactivating the cards. So now what you need to do next is you got to try to find a way to put money in somebody's account if they don't want to just send you food back there. If people on the pound don't want to just send no food to their homeboys back there to look out for them, now you got to try to like find a way to hit your peoples up to have your peoples put money in that person's account that's on the compound. And then still hopefully they find a runaround or somebody that can bring it in to the, you know, confinement pod in order for you to get it. Then you never know how the officers are that work in confinement. They might let the inmates slide in there and give the food to you, or they might knock off whatever it is and even put the person who tried to bring it back in there in confinement himself. So now people are scared to bring it to you. You see, so it all depends. It's like you got this many ways of getting stuff when you're on the pound and when you have money. But then as you go to confinement, these things start falling down, and next thing you know, you're back there. Card deactivated. No way to contact family to get money put in no one else's name. You feel me? Officers got this shit on lock. Ain't nothing coming in or going out. So now the orderlies, boom. Next thing you know, they use the orderlies that are actually confinement inmates. They don't want no orderlies from the outside of the pound because they don't want nothing coming in and out. So instead, boom, they fire them and they use inmates that are actually serving confinement time, that live in that quad, so they have no reason to leave. You see? So then you're like, damn, you know, you're limited. There's only so many things you can do. You know, so there will be times, no matter how much money you have, no matter how much pool you got, no matter how clean your face is, how good your face card is, you feel me? At the end of the day, there will still be times that you were forced to go without. So don't ever think you will never go without, because it is possible. You understand? There's people in there, like guards, that want to make your time hard and make your time harsher than others, that will literally try to make it to where we'll make you starve. There will be guards in there that if they see canteen come in that dorm and they don't know which inmate got it, they'll decide, okay, well, I know it had something to do with this cell, and this cell, so we're going to give y'all 3 ghost trays, and now y'all ain't eating lunch because we know you already got canteen. You ain't going to starve to death. We know you ain't going to die back there because one of y'all cells, you know, received food today that you weren't supposed to have, so we ain't got to worry about you starving to death. You know, as long as the camera sees us put something in there, they don't know if we gave you a real tray or not. They'll see the tray, but as long as there's a lid on it, they don't know that it was empty. You know, shit like that. That's how crooked guards are. And then by them being so crooked like that, it makes people not want to take the risk. You know what I'm saying? And then next thing you know, your hands are tied. There's only so much you can do. You feel me? And then as much as I had, and as much as people known I had, and how good my face card was, at the same time, there was still times I had to go without. And them water biscuits was my #1 go-to. You feel me? Don't get me wrong, I know a water biscuit ain't nothing but a cup of water, but it being called a water biscuit is more of a mind thing, you feel me? When you tell your bunkie, yeah, I'm gonna slam a couple of these water biscuits real quick, and you just down them in your mind, after a while, when you catch yourself literally calling them a water biscuit, it like locks in your mind. It's like if it's some sort of biscuit, you feel me? And they do hold you over, you know. You can fill yourself up with water, believe it or not, you feel me? But it isn't the same as if you had food all the time. You know, you see some people living luxurious in prison. I've lived luxurious in prison as well. But there is times that you are going to be forced to go without. And how it feels to starve is like the worst. It literally makes your weight just melts right off of you. You know what I'm saying? There was times when I was in the box that I would stick my arm behind my back like this and go like try to like go up my back, and then both of my shoulder wings would, like, my bones would pop out. Like I could go like this, and my shoulder blades would like pop out like that. You feel me? And I would look in the little mirror, the metal mirror on the cell, inside the cell, and be like, damn, I'm back here straight dropping weight, bro. You feel me? Straight dropping pounds. And you know what I'm saying? It's like you're fasting, basically. It's basically the same thing as fasting if you look at it. That's what you're forced to do, you know? You're forced to basically fast. That's why a lot of people lose weight inside of prison and jail. You know, some people gain weight, you feel me? But that's normally people who, like, were unhealthy on the streets. Like if you did drugs, you know what I'm saying? And you were below the weight you should have been. When you go to jail and you start eating as much and eating bread and everything and all that, then you're going to start getting weefier. You're going to start gaining weight. You're going to start adding to it. You know what I'm saying? But it's usually the opposite for bigger people, for people that are chubby and fat. Like I was chubbier when I went to prison. You know what I'm saying? So no matter how much I ate on the compound without the box, I still would lose weight. Even in the county jail, I'd get as much money as we can, 100, you know what I'm saying, like a 40 and a pack, you feel me, every week. And I'd eat it all and still gain weight. I mean, lose weight. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, it all depends. But one thing I do know is when you're in prison, you're going to find yourself hitting that starvation mode. Straight up. And it's to the point to where it's crazy because you got people in there that are hooked on Tunchi and cigarettes and stuff like that will sell their food in order to get high. You know what I'm saying? And then they start losing weight. Their face starts sinking in and all this stuff, you know, because they're not really eating. But their mind isn't on it as heavily. Their mind's on that dope. You see what I'm saying? Now, when you're in confinement, if you ain't got the dope and you're not eating, you're going to notice it. The dope was usually the illusion that sidetracked you and got your mind off the fact that you were hungry. But now that you ain't got the dope and everything that you're used to spending your canteen on and your money on, now you're just back there with no money, with no food. That's when it's going to hit you the worst. That's when you're going to feel like, damn. You know what I'm saying? I seen plenty of people who looked down bad, that was doing real bad. They looked sick almost on the compound because they get rid of all their food for dope. You know what I'm saying? Literally. You'd see them hit, boom, they excited while they in line. You can always tell when they about to hit. Face expressions tell it all. You know what I'm saying? They over there like this, they singing to themselves and shit, bopping and shit while they standing in line. Like, you know he's expecting to hit. Next thing you know, boom, they get that money, they walking back. They always looking at their receipt to see if they got charged extra and shit as they walk back with all their canteen. See them, next thing you know, a little later, you see them walking back and forth in the dorm. Couple packs of cookies, couple packs of soups, couple bags of chips. Boom, boom, doing different transactions. Then you see them over there slumped. Like a zombie. Like that. You feel me? Next thing you know, they ain't got shit. You feel me? They ran through their whole swipe. Whoop, just like that. Quick as 1, 2, 3. And when you look at them, now they're struggling all week. Saliva all right here on the side of their mouth and shit look like they're on pills, like they're rolling. Got that shit all right here. Next thing you know, they're walking around fucking dragging, like their feet dragging, look like they never shower. You feel me? Look down bad. You feel me? Be like, damn, look, bro, doing bad right now. You feel me? He can't get off that dope. You know what I'm saying? And then when you see them in confinement, they're even worse. They're 5 times worse. They ain't got the dope, so they're going through it, and they ain't got no food. You see what I'm saying? They're even worse. You know what I'm saying? That's the worst type of person to get put in a cell with. You know what I'm saying? Inside of confinement, boy, because they're going to make you feel like the box is the worst place in the world. That, you know what I'm saying? That's how they're going to make it feel. And that's what it is now they get to see what it's like starving. You feel me? Because you are going to feel like you're starving at times. There's no way you're not. Straight up. There's no way you're not going to feel like you're starving. You feel me? There's going to be times where you feel like, damn, dog, I'm in this bitch hungry. Something, a guard could be eating his lunch somewhere, and when they open that, the door to the sally port, you feel me? And all of a sudden, the wind of the pressure of the door just brings in a whiff of his lunch. You feel me? And it goes through the quad. Everybody, ding, all of a sudden you're gonna be like, damn, bitch, I'm hungry. Everybody gonna be thinking about it. Everybody gonna be like, man, I'm hungry as hell, dog, this and this and that. One little thing gonna trigger that to where you're like, damn, I'm starving. You feel me? And I just wanted to come on here and let y'all know what I used to do when I felt like I was starving. And my number one thing, y'all, was the water biscuits. Straight up. I don't know where I would be without a water biscuit. I know it's just water, like I said, but trust me, that shit got me through my time. And it got to the point where I was so used to, you know, drinking water biscuits that when I hit the pound, when we would gamble on water biscuits. So it's like if you lose, you got to drink a water biscuit. You got to drink 2 water biscuits, 3 water biscuits, instead of betting real money, because now whoever loses is going to be up all night pissing. That's the whole reason you do that. So if you're like, damn, if you lose, you got to drink 10 cups of water. Them 10 cups of water are going to make you get up and have to piss back to back, back to back, back to back, back to back. So you don't sleep good tonight. Because we know you're going to get up and have to take a leak over and over and over again. You see what I'm saying? But, hey, everybody else survives a different way. If somebody else had another thing that they did to survive, drop it in the comment section. Let us know. I'm talking about if you didn't really have canteen or anything like that. Of course, there's other things that you can eat, like canteen-wise, even when you're down to the bottom, to where there's certain things that, you know, when you're down to your last, you know, that you still would try it. And I've got plenty of those that I did. Like one thing that I used to eat in prison when I was down to my last was the hot cocoa Swiss Misses. We'd go like this and eat them straight out of the pack. Hot cocoa Swiss Misses are fire straight out the pack. You know, normally you mix them and make hot chocolate. The apple cinnamon oatmeals, the ones that got the little chunks of the little apple pieces, those, we used to eat those straight out the pack. That was like a survival kit, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's when you ain't really got shit, you know what I'm saying? In the county jail, I remember when hot Cheetos, flaming hot Cheetos with jelly. Believe it or not, you get you a bag of flaming hot Cheetos and you pour jelly on them shits and you shake it up to where they're all covered in jelly and you eat them, you'll probably never eat flaming hots again without jelly on them. You know what I'm saying? But that's because I was down to my last. That was one time where I was like, let me try this. All I had was a flaming hot and a fucking jelly from breakfast. And I put it in there. And then I realized, oh, this shit's kind of gas. I wish I had more jelly. So the next time I tried it, I added more jelly. So now you just mix them bitches up in the bag. And when you turn the bag, all the jelly will be sticking to the chips. And you know, the inside of the flaming hot bag looks like foil, so it's silver. When you turn them in there and all them Cheetos go to falling, so none of them are sticking to the inside of the bag, they just keep falling as you turn the bag in your hand. That's how you know, boy, you got them all covered. And I'm telling you, survival kit at its finest. That right there was one thing that I remember. I was starving, and I was like, man, I don't want these regular flaming hots like this. They're so played out because I've ate them so many times. And that shit got me through my time, you know what I'm saying? But nothing hit better than that water biscuit, you know what I'm saying? If you felt like you did something else, drop it in the comments because I know people want to know. This video right here is for the supporters that have been asking me how I survived when I felt like I was starving. I hope y'all appreciate the videos, because trust me, I appreciate y'all watching them. Y'all make sure y'all keep them rat squares, clowns, chomos, pedos, gunners, wannabe island boys, and clout chasers out your circle. And just to let y'all know, I've been dropping videos late because I'm trying to change up my audience a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Not saying there's anything wrong with the audience from the daytime, but I did it for so long that I just want to make a little change. I want to switch it up and stuff like that, jump around a little bit just to see what type of traction and what type of attention I can grab from different places, just to see, you know, if, you know, change is always good, you get what I'm saying? So that's why I've been dropping my videos late. But anyways, I appreciate y'all watching. Like I always say, y'all already know. Till next time, I am my team. This the one and only Frog.